Very cool. Hi, everybody. We are just getting started here. Thanks for being patient. We've got a big crowd today, which is great. I always love when people are investing their time and energy into education and knowledge for their life and their business. So thank you. I'm just going to wait one more minute and then I'll kind of introduce myself. If everyone who is not muted can go ahead and mute, that would be great as well. Otherwise, I'll just mute you myself. It just helps with background noise so everyone can hear. And this is also a recording, so just limiting background noise. I'm actually going to turn my fan off, making a lot of noise. Okay. Look at all you bright and shiny people today. Thanks for joining. My name is Amelia Lasky. I am so excited to be here today, primarily because when I see other people rising to the call of wanting to become a professional in the field of energy work or healing or anointing, it just makes me realize how much that is within all of us to some degree. And I truly believe that there's no better time than right now, where people are suffering. They're suffering things they don't even know what they're dealing with. And so for all of you wanting to rise up and take this challenge on and do these wonderful things, it makes me really excited. So we have a really great guest speaker today. Randall is here. He is in the top right corner or left corner. I don't know how it is on your screen, but he just raised his hand a little bit. He is a professional. He has an organization and he helps certify people or license people in the ability to become a licensed spiritual healer. And he's going to talk to us today in regards to how that pertains to our business and how we can then become even more capable and able to provide help and healing for other people. So I will go ahead and I actually first met Randall when I went through my training process. So I am a fully certified care instructor and I am a certified raindrop technique specialist. And in order to become those designated credentials, I had to go through the licensed spiritual healer program with Randall. It's a 4-week course. And he taught me the skills of how to become really more focused in on how to coach people. So he's going to talk about that today. Most of you in this group have probably already taken a care class, and this is going to relate to you because you've taken the training needed in order to become licensed. So you'll get a certification from the Natural Therapies Board to become certified in raindrop, and then you go on to get licensing for protection in all 50 states in Canada. So with no further ado, I'll just go ahead and let Randall introduce himself and get going, and we'll just talk through everything that comes up. Alrighty? And we'll have time for some questions at the end.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Amelia. Thanks for the invitation. We've been working on getting together to do this for a few months. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'd like to do more of these. If we need to bring more clarity to anything in the future, we could always come back and do that. But what I'm going to do right now is kind of give you an overview of who I am, what I do, and the benefits of being, number one, educated, which many of you asking me. All right, so I'm learning Zoom today too. I haven't used Zoom that much. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and share my screen with you. That way you get some visual in there as well as you get to hear me talk about it. So I'm Randall with the International Spiritual Healer Professional Learning Institute. You're going to see me turn my head because I have well, you don't see me turn my head, do you? If I'm screen sharing, do they still see my head? I can't hear you.
Yes, we can see you slightly move your head, but it's no big deal. We can still see you.
All right, because I'm going to be over here reading. Okay. And what I do in particular is I provide the additional education you need beyond learning the raindrop technique to become certified with Natural Therapy Certification Board and or licensed with the Federation of Spiritual Healer Licensing Boards. These additional courses that get you certified first as a raindrop technique or specialist I'll scroll down, are professional ethics or professional practices, professional ethics, and informed consent form. So we want to help you become a professional by helping you develop your healing mission, your code of your practices, your business ideas that you want to maybe put on a brochure or a form of what you charge and all those kinds of things. And maybe some little bit information about websites, doing that kind of thing, really help you take on the identity of a professional. Then we teach you professional ethics, how to remain within your boundaries so that you don't get your wires crossed with, say, a local chiropractor or a local medical doctor who's might be saying you're telling people that you can cure them of something, when really what we're doing in the raindrop technique and the tuning fork techniques that I use and massage therapy techniques is assisting people in their healing path and helping reconnect them with the divine, with, in your case, the use of the technique of raindrop and the healing anointing oils that you use to anoint the body with, as Gary Young taught. By the way, Gary Young helped found, without being the founder, but he helped John Gilbert found the Federation of Spiritual Healer Licensing Boards almost 20 some years ago or so. John and Gary became friends, and Gary wanted a way for raindrop technique specialists to be able to share the healing techniques and the anointing with oils. And that's when the Federation of Spiritual Healer Licensing Boards is a registered 5013C with the federal government spiritual organization designed to give you an umbrella to be able to practice a spiritual healing technique. So these courses help you gain the identity and to be able to walk in strongly your identity as a natural and spiritual healer. Because raindrop technique people are kind of walking in two worlds, you might say. You're walking in the natural realm and the spiritual realm at the same time. So being able to dance with that and understand it is important. It's not as complicated as it may seem, because you take these courses and it really just lays it out for you. So once you get done with professional practices and ethics, which is staying in your boundaries and learning how to educate people rather than diagnose and prescribe, we teach you a little bit different languaging on that. You also do an informed consent form. That lets people know who come to you for the raindrop technique, who you are and what you do. And it also tells them what you don't do, which is diagnose and prescribe psychological issues or physical issues. That's for a different group. That's for the allopaths. That's for the medical doctors to do. That's not us. We do spiritual healing work. Now, people may come to us with a diagnosis from somebody, and we don't advise them to make any changes that they're working with in their medical doctor, but we can bring our raindrop technique in, or any other spiritual healing technique or natural technique in as complementary, and we can walk side by side. I have heard stories of those who have gone through raindrop technique and used essential oils that have no longer needed some of the other medications and things, but I can't say that as a promise to anybody, but I've heard stories of that. Now, the next phase, next thing that you'll do after you take the online study course called the professional courses, that's practices, ethics, informed consent. You'll work with Terry, you do some reading, you turn in some assignments to Terry. She helps you perfect them for your business and for your practice. And then you graduate that and you move on. It's not a pass or fail. Terry just keeps working with you until you get it just like it should be to help you practice professionally, ethically, and legally. Then you'll graduate and be able to do spiritual coaching skills. And that's where I teach you specific communication skills, and you have a blast. It's really easy. I teach you a set of 4 different skills, and you're working with a partner. So I teach you, you listen to a webinar, you send me a summary in an email. I say, that's great. It seems like you understand. You practice with your practice partner. That's where the real fun is because you get to spend an hour and a half a week with another raindrop technique specialist or another healing practitioner and practice the skills. And we spend about 4 meetings together, but only 3 weeks, but 4 meetings within that 3 weeks. Okay. You do that, and then whenever you want, you can do the basic anatomy and physiology. That can be done in a weekend. It's really just a study guide. You listen to the webinar, you highlight what I teach about anatomy and physiology, and then you take a 70-question open book exam. So all in all, those 3 courses cost you $500. But they're split up, you don't have to buy them all at once. I do offer a $20 discount. If you do buy them all at once, it's like $510. But if you buy them all at once, it's like $497 if you wanted to do the package deal. And you get all of that. And those 3 courses allow you to become certified with Natural Therapy Certification Board. And the same 3 courses qualify you to become licensed as a spiritual healer. So you get a dual benefit of being certified and licensed for that, except you pay the $65 certification fee to Natural Therapies, and you pay a $65 licensing fee, and the renewals are like $55 a year. Now, I believe that we're each born with the gift of healing. That's why we came in. That's why we were born. Some of you may believe in predestination, some of you maybe you don't, and you don't have to take any of my beliefs on as yours today. I'm just sharing with you what I believe. But I believe you were born with the gift of healing and that you educate yourself into its use. You find the car to drive around in your healing gift, and it just happens to be raindrop. Mine happens to be licensed massage therapy and the practice of somatic energetics, solfeggio tuning forks, and Reiki. How we are. We all take, a little plethora of different techniques that we kind of combine and come up with a healing regimen for people, right? So, and I believe that your chosen healing technique matches the frequency of your gift and your desire. And because you're manifested at a particular time and place right now on the planet, which needs healing more than ever, there are lives that only you can touch. Now, the idea of touch is where certification and licensing comes in. These 3 sets of courses and getting the certification and the license will allow you to be of healing service to others and understand how to do that within appropriate boundaries so that you don't get your wires crossed with some state board, for instance, that kind of thing. So, because if you advertise inappropriately the raindrop technique and call it massage or things of that sort, a state massage board may see that, or a massage therapist may see that, and you might get called in front of that board, that state board, to have to answer for that. In my state, I'm licensed through the state medical board for massage therapy. I have an actual medical license. I have to separate my healing techniques from my licensed massage therapy, and they have to be 2 separate techniques, 2 separate sessions. I can't interweave those because my medical license is a specific scope of practice. But your specific scope of practice is going to be the raindrop technique, and any other techniques that you're certified to practice can be on your informed consent form and be used underneath of your license, okay? But the licensing board, the federation, primarily licenses those who are certified in a healing technique. There are some cases where people come with enough education and training in their background and they're not certified that they will license because it equals being certified. A lot of times I'll direct people to Natural Therapy Certification Board. Sometimes Natural Therapy sends them back to me and says, Randall, They're not a natural practitioner, they're a spiritual practitioner. They've got a great education. You might want to review that, or Terry does that. And I sit on the board. I'm not actually employed by them. So and then she'll do that, and they'll become licensed. So you see there, if you come to, and just remember shpli.org, shipley.org, this is your one-stop shop for everything you need. You can even click on more there and find and get linked into being certified within TCB and being licensed with the Federation. So it's all right there, okay? So remember this as your one-stop shop website. So let me share with you what I share in my introductory session. We've already gone over that. 10 important reasons to certify, to train, certify, and license. Many of you've got the training. So it really offers you overall stability to be trained, certified, and licensed. You can actually get to living that happier, full-time career life as a certified and licensed person when you have the education that we offer. Because many people are sitting around trying to do it by hard knocks, right? And knocking it out day to day, head against the wall, trying to figure out how to become a success when we provide that for you. Imagine the blessings you are possibly missing out on as a result of having all of your doubt and fear relieved by going through this coursework. That's what it did for me. That's what it does for at least 4 to 6 to 12 people a month that are going through this work now, that we work with every month to get them certified and licensed. It offers you the additional opportunity to be more prosperous. Many times when we lack education, we don't have the certification or the license, we undervalue the raindrop technique or any other technique we're using. You know, some people, let's say, might sell it for $45 when it's really worth $110 or whatever, because you don't have the confidence and the courage that these courses bring to your existence and your professional identity. It opens up opportunity because anyone searching on the internet or looking locally or hearing people talk are going to be talking about you, and you'll be seen as the go-to person in your area for certified and licensed spiritual healing techniques. Not just somebody who says that they can do it, but someone who is a member of Natural Therapy Certification Board and the Federation of Spiritual Healer Licensing Boards. That means you joined in to being self-regulated. That's why natural therapies and the Federation exist, because the state and local governments and the federal government want to see people self-regulate and set up appropriate boundaries. That's what we're here for, to help you do that. And to stay in existence, we need your support to help lobby for you to remain capable of sharing your spiritual healing techniques locally and within your state and nationally. And it'll help you gain the confidence too. Most of us are lone wolfers, right, in the spiritual healing world. So we want to be strong and independent and have that confidence. And you'll gain that by taking this coursework. It makes it easier for you to become a success, as I said before, because you're not doing the hard knocks thing. You're actually learning from what we've been doing for years. I've been in the natural and spiritual healing realm professionally for over 32 years now. So I know what it takes to become a success, and having done over 30,000 individual sessions, I can bring to you a wealth of knowledge, along with Terry down at who works for both of the boards, along with Jackie at Natural Therapy Certification Board. All of us bring over 20 years worth of experience, and combined probably nearly 60 years, okay? Along with your trainers, of course, at Raindrop, who've been around forever, and the Young Living Network. So also, your level of ethics and operational integrity increases exponentially because you take the courses. You're no longer wondering, should I do this or should I do that? Am I taking a chance? or am I not, you'll know where you stand and how to operate professionally, legally, and ethically. As I've said, your confidence goes up. You're also aligning with certain societal expectations. People are savvy consumers. They're looking for people when they look at your website. Does this person have education? If so, where? Are they certified? If so, where? Are they licensed to practice what they're saying? Now, that doesn't mean that your raindrop technique isn't just as good as somebody that's certified or licensed. It just means you don't have a level of oversight that may create a level of comfort with the customer to come to you and utilize it. So why not have all the best that you can have by investing in yourself, to take these courses and you get the certificate and the license, okay? Or the certification, I should say. The education also in reverse protects the consumer, because we teach you how to stay in your boundaries. So you're not going to step in and prescribe and diagnose their condition. You're going to educate them and assist them with your healing technique to receive spiritual healing. So it protects the consumer so you don't step outside your scope of practice, which is in the realm of natural and spiritual healing, not the other world that we all exist in. The other thing you're doing by becoming certified and licensed is you're submitting to some measure of oversight. Okay, meaning if you were to step out of your boundaries and one of the boards, either NTCB, gets wind of it or the Federation, we're going to ask you to realign with your teaching. Okay, and realign with the idea of being a natural and spiritual healer. If you would not do that, then those things could be removed from you. That title, that level of respect that you can receive from medical doctors in your area, psychologists and psychiatrists, people who are now delving into being integrated, you can connect with them and they'll respect you more too, with that certification and license. So, and you're also aligning with a greater group goal that the certification board, the licensing board, and the care organization has with assisting people on their journey to self-healing by helping them realign with the divine in their life as they understand it. So I think you got a great idea now of why I believe that it's really great for you to go along this educational path and to gain a certification with Natural Therapy Certification Board. And now, what's the difference between a certification and a license? Let me tell you that. Education from care and your trainer, like Amelia here today, means you've been educated. But what CARE decided to do, they didn't want to look like a paper mill, meaning they train people and they certify. And because local, state, and federal government doesn't look highly on organizations that both educate and certify. So they aligned with Natural Therapy Certification Board, who looked over their blueprint of education and helped them align with what's the typical number of credits used for each segment of your course path. And then Natural Therapies independently certifies that CARE has done what they promised to do. That's better than having just a diploma of education or certificate of completion from any organization that does the educating. Again, doesn't make the education bad, but it does lend itself to having a higher level of respect, to have that independent body looking over care and having helped them develop their coursework. So Natural Therapy Certification Board is certifying that indeed you were educated according to national standards when it comes to a professional career education as a raindrop technique specialist. Hope I'm getting all the labels right. because I'm not a raindrop technique specialist. So, but Amelia can correct that later if she needs to. What does it mean to have a license? Well, in most states within the United States, you can't really touch anybody, touch their body without having a license to do so. The Federation, being a federally registered spiritual organization designed just for that specific purpose, and has been doing it for 20 years, makes sure that you have the license to do spiritual healing touch, not massage, not acupressure or anything that's under the banner of the massage therapy boards and all of that kind of thing, but a spiritual healing technique, not massage, for the purpose of healing through the anointing with oils. That's our viewpoint, and I say we because I work with them so closely. I feel like they almost belong to me, but they don't. So, you know, there's the differences and some nuance. You know, there's other little nuances along the way, but that's enough for what we're doing today. And I'll close off the screen share now and come back to Amelia and see what we have from the crowd.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you did. My primary goal for today was to help people understand why it would be beneficial for you guys to become not only certified through NTCB, but also licensed through, I always get this wrong, FSH.
FSHLP, the Federation of Spiritual Healer Licensing Boards.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a two-part thing, but he said it covers you in more than just that. It's a very nice covering, and the fact that we have this available to us is there's no reason why we wouldn't really want to take advantage of it, especially if you're doing raindrop on people and charging money for it and you don't have any other license to touch. So for me, in my professional opinion, is that whenever I have a student, I notice that they're working through the steps and the goals. You're not done after you've taken your return demo. You're not done after you've submitted your NTCB certification form. You really need to go through that whole license to touch portion so that you have the confidence in your license, and so nobody else is going to come and try and take that from you. There are people all over the world who feel uncomfortable with what we do with oils because we aren't massage therapists or we aren't trained aromatherapists. So for me, this is just a beautiful practice of knowing that we have coverage. We can get insurance. It's very easy to do that. He had even a menu clicking a link that you could click to get your insurance once you've gone through all the licenses and certifications. And the best part is that it's all at your fingertips. You don't have to go anywhere else for it. It's online and you can do it at a self-paced, self-study. And I help people all the time go through those programs. And that's my job as a facilitator now. So thanks for listening. We have a few questions in the chat. So I'm just gonna go over there. If anyone else has a question, you can just put it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask Randall or I a question. The first one was from Teresa. Says, she actually is a CRTS and an LSH. How do we get added to the website / directories? On my end, the only directory that I know that you could be added to is through the CARE website, and you can call the CARE office. I can put that number. It's just on raindroptraining.com. You can call them and you can ask them to put your name in the directory of licensed professionals so that they can find you. Randall, are there any place where you promote licensed students?
Yeah, we don't have NTCB doesn't have a list, I believe, that's published online, and the Federation doesn't either. That's a question that I'm going to bring up in the near future with the Federation to see if we want, to do a listing of those that are licensed or not. So far, we've left that to the training organizations like CARE to have their list, and Soma Energetics, who I work really close with, also has that on their website. We've left it to the organizations to do the differentiation and the advertising. We see ourselves just more as, certification, licensing, not an advertising.
Yeah. So CARE will be the one to offer that for you. And then you can also make your own website and of course put all of those where you've been licensed through as well.
Okay.
She says, Melissa says, does the insurance cover for Canada? Your license covers for Canada, but you would have to make sure that your coverage from your insurance company does that specifically. So you can add that in because your license pertains to that, but we do not, I don't know there's a lot of different insurance companies that you can go through.
Well,
I get mine from ABMP.
yes.
I don't know which company that you recommend anymore.
On my website, there's a link for Healer Insurance. I have several listings there. I've researched them, and I know people that are using them in the industry. I even have some there for Canada. Perfect. And the UK.
Perfect. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that I see Shirley's on here. She's a licensed massage therapist. What happens if you are a licensed massage therapist and you want to become a raindrop specialist? Do you need the licensed spiritual healer designation? And this is a question I get a lot. So I have a lot of massage therapists that come to class. You do not need the LSH licensure because you already have a license to touch through massage therapy. But it does not allow you to practice in that realm of spiritual healing and anointing. Like Randall was saying, he has to separate out his practice and his business. So you can keep it in that physical world of raindrop technique, and you would need to get your CRTS from the National Therapy Certification Board. And that's just one of those $65 application fees and then renewal every year. So for some people, you don't need to go through all of the things that Randall mentioned today, depending on your licensure, but make sure you ask and just be really clear about what you need versus what you don't need. Some states are much more picky than others. And there's people in here from all over the country. In Indiana, we don't really have a lot of things that they have to do control wise. It's very loosey goosey, but just up north in Michigan, it's like so strict. They will not let anyone touch without some sort of license. So it's a really big deal. So we have a question from Judy Nichols. I've been an LSH coach for well over 10 years. At the time I was licensed, I was under the impression I could not touch. With today's information, it appears I can. Also, Reiki Master. Can you explain how this interacts? And do I need more certification and licensing? So I don't know the role of the Reiki Master. I have taken Reiki courses, and there are some teachers that make you go and get insurance for it. And then there's other people who say that you're not really touching anybody in Reiki, so you don't need to. That would be something that you can call your insurance company about once you've gotten your licensure, and add that on to your credentials. That's what I can do with ABMP. They say once you send in all of your paperwork to show that your certification is complete, you can send in your forms and we can add that to your scope of practice. I don't really know how else it might interact other than just being a little bit different in terms of your scope there.
The Federation does license Reiki practitioners as long as you've completed level 2.
Okay.
You can,
perfect.
but you have to take the courses just like everybody else, and you can get a license, but you won't have any relationship with NTCB because they don't license spiritual healers. They certify natural healers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I put my website in the chat as well. And
yes.
Okay.
So the website that is Randall's is the shpli.org, and on the top right corner, it'll have an extra drop down menu, and it'll say how to get insurance links. Let's see here. Okay, and there's a question about not hearing a reply back from the boards. From my understanding, I like to give them grace and allow 4 to 6 weeks for processing. In some cases, CARES also processing times are between 4 and 8 weeks, because sometimes this is like a part-time side thing that they do. And if you don't hear from them, you can always call their number and leave a message. You can also reach out via email and just follow up maybe every other week or every week to kind of make sure that goes through. Once you've paid and submitted it, I would say that your side of the world is done. You've done your work, and just allow them to file that and finish with that. You can keep proof of copies of sending your stuff in and your payment, just in case anything were to come up, because that has been an issue in the past with timeliness of hearing back from whomever might be running that right now.
I know that in the case of the Federation, for instance, it's a small nonprofit. There's maybe 20 to 30 hours a month is all that's being worked. So maybe 4 hours a week. And some licenses are mailed in. That takes longer processing. So it's anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. If you emailed and you got the autoresponder from FSHLB, your email was received. That's why there's an autoresponder set up.
Yeah, good comment. Yeah. Yeah, Teresa said thanks and looking forward to future informational meetings. Randall does a lot of all types of classes. I specifically keep mine in relation to Raindrop and how to become professional at Raindrop, how to get clients, how to grow your business, how to run a website. So for me, I mostly focus on Raindrop and spiritual healing, but Randall does a lot of other things based on spiritual healing and many things. You can always follow him on Facebook. That's where I see a lot of his stuff. You can sign up for his mailing list. I believe his email is on his website, correct? Loop.
Everything's there.
Yep, everything's on his website. He's very, very approachable. As you can see, he's very, very excited to meet with all of you if you've not met him yet. And he's running another class that will be coming up. I thought I saw it was for the beginning of August, right? So coming up soon.
It's around another. Are you talking about the coaching class?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming up toward the 16th or so of August. Another class. I'm going to put in the chat the Facebook page.
Thank you.
Called a spiritually aligned life.
Lots of good motivation there.
It is.
Yeah. And then in order to be eligible to take that class beginning around the 16th of August, you would need to contact Terry and sign up for her professional practices course and begin that journey. She does not require you to finish it before you start Randall's, but it is a really good thing to actually get it started, get it going. It is more of the labor intensive of a lot of writing. And I can help you through that. She can also help you through that if you don't hear back from her. I'm here for you to help you through those things. It's a lot of things that maybe you never thought about because you've never been a professional in this role, but it's very important. It made me feel so much more confident knowing that how I was going to charge people, what would I do if people didn't show up, what my scope was, I was allowed to say, what people weren't allowed to do to me. It was very, very nice. Like I got so many boundaries from that course. And then you get your informed consent finished and completed based on you and your specifics. So get that going, and then you can do the anatomy, right, Randall, at any time before or after?
Yes, anytime. Anytime before being certified and licensed. Yeah. At your will.
At your will.
But the only course you have to complete, as you said, to do coaching skills is practices, ethics, informed consent.
Yeah. And just go on that website, shipley.org, that has all the stuff, and you'll be able to get on there. And if you're not in my group, I don't know how to add a Facebook group link to this chat, but I'll try it really quick. So give me 1 second. And if anyone wants to go in and learn more about how to build your Raindrop business, I'll add that for you. And then after this, we can just stay in touch. We will let you know if there's any other things that come up. But if you have any questions, please reach out. Facebook is a really great way, or my website is amelialasky.com. You're welcome to reach out to me on there. And Randall is shipley.org, and Facebook as Randall Loop. So
if anyone else have page in the chat.
Yeah, I just put my Facebook page. Oh, I sent it to someone specific. I meant to everyone.
Up in the chat.
There we go. There we go. Yes. And if anyone else have any other questions before we end for the day, it will be recorded and it will be posted in my group, and I'll send a link to Randall so he can share that as well. A lot of faces in here I haven't seen before, so welcome and thanks for just giving us the opportunity to chat with you today. And I'm excited.
I put this out for you through the Academy for Coaching, where all the courses are sold. I sent everybody an invitation, and all of the Federation's licensed spiritual healers, I put it out as to all of them too. So,
Wonderful. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much. I know that I love working with you, and I just really appreciate that I have a place to send my students, because I can't do the next step for them. And I'm so happy that I have a trustworthy place to
Good.
send them, and I know they'll get what they need. So thanks again, Randall.
Okay. Yeah.
Have a great day, everybody. I'm going to end it, and I'll hope to see you all again soon. Bye.